Well, as advertised, we're here in the Memorial Coliseum. General Manager Randy Brown has joined us, and behind him and over his shoulder is his newest toy to this facility, and I know you're very excited about it.
Mike, it's good to have you here. Yes, behind us, what we're going to see today for the first time is our new scoreboard. It's still a work in progress. We're not quite finished, but it's up, it's functional, and we used it the other night for national television for World Wrestling and Entertainment. So it's a spectacular view.
Tell us about it. I mean, it's obviously quite different from the old scoreboard, but in comparison to some of the other video boards and scoreboards that folks have probably seen at the major arenas like in Boston, Chicago, and Indianapolis.
Let's look at the top to start with. We actually have two ribbon boards on this. The top one where you see the Pepsi graphics, that's the top ribbon board, and then on the very bottom, that's the lower ribbon board. These are 2-foot boards and 16 millimeter. Then going back right below the top ribbon board is the video board, and that's a 12 millimeter board. Actually, the resolution is higher than what you have in Conseco Fieldhouse and higher resolution than the new board that was put in just a couple years ago in Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Then below that we have 16 millimeter matrix board, and that will be where we'll do the scoring. So if you come to a Comet hockey game or a Mad Ants game, that's where you'll see the scores. But as you can see, that it's no longer static scoring. It doesn't always just say home, opponent, and scoring. So it gives us a lot more flexibility for numerous other uses. When we have concerts, we may put up other graphics. There's just so much that we can do with this board. And then once we create our control room, which is something, a component we're working on now, we'll have multiple cameras around the space. We'll have the ability to, we'll have 4 cameras which will be movable for the sport, 2 on each end of the floor and 2 on the center up above. But for hockey, we'll actually have 3 fixed cameras above, 1 above each goal, and then there's a camera located below the scoreboard, which will be a face-off or a jump shot camera. So very nice situation too.
So you'll be showing replays on the scoreboard, similar to what folks would see at home if they were watching it on television.
Yes, the new capability of this has slow-mo and replay. So again, we have some learning to do, and we've been fortunate. We're staffing with part-time people, and there's a lot of interest with people from the TV stations and PBS and other professionals in the field that they will be our camera operators, they will be our producer directors. So
quite a bit bigger than the other one. No chance that any pucks or basketballs or footballs are going to run into it, is it?
We hope not. I mean, it is designed for easy servicing. So if something were to happen, our staff will take care of that maintenance and repair. But this overall size really is not that different. From top to bottom, it's only 2 feet bigger. But I think it's the rings, the ribbon boards at the top and bottom that give it a different definition. The fact that it's black, it's a dark color certainly too when it's not illuminated. When it's sitting up there, it's big. It is really big.
And we talked about this primarily in terms of the sporting events and the use for that, but you can use this for any of the other events that you have here. In fact, you were telling me before, as an example, you have a lot of the high schools that have their graduation ceremonies here. You can even use this scoreboard during those kind of events.
And that's what we have recommended to the clients, that whether it's IPFW or Ivy Tech or the high schools, that it's just another element that again adds a segment to their event that we haven't had in the past. Just like Monday night with wrestling, the WWE folks gave us a video feed. So in addition to their static screens on the end of the setup, they were able to give us a feed. So guests sitting in the arena had a 4-sided view of the action as well. It just complements the other things that we're doing.
And of course, obviously this is not a cheap piece of equipment to put in, but there's also the possibility of recouping some of that money through advertisements that can run on this board also.
That's the whole idea. And in addition, we gave our sports teams, the Comets, the Mad Ants, IPFW, and the Freedom an opportunity to sell time on the board. So it's not just creating a revenue opportunity for the Coliseum, but it's also creating an opportunity for our sports teams. And anything we can do to help them makes them healthier and increases our, the level of our local sports scene.
Well, Randy, the scoreboard is the most recent addition here. Of course, everyone is aware of the fact that the roof was raised back in 2002. You've added so many other amenities here in the Coliseum, and that, I know from your standpoint, is a very important thing as you go out into the nation and try to bring some of the top-notch events to our community.
Mike, we're always working to attract events to Fort Wayne. And what it amounts to is an economic impact to the community. It's jobs. So when people are staying in hotels, when they're going to restaurants, when they're buying gas, that's jobs for our friends and neighbors. So that's something we work hard at. If you think of events that have been here since we've raised the roof, improved the arena, there's a lot of events that wouldn't have considered us in the past. The likes of a Shania Twain, Promise Keepers, Women of Faith, events like American Idol just the other night, the size of the production. Walking with Dinosaurs clearly would not have fit in this building prior to the renovation. So it's a matter of keeping it state of the art and working hard so those future events. A week or so ago, we were notified by the NCAA that we'll be hosting regional hockey in 2010. Again, just another example of how the improvements that we continue to make in the complex are paying a dividend.
And as we mentioned, the competition out there is pretty fierce to other communities trying to bring those kind of events here. So anything you can do to add value to this building just increases the likelihood that they'll be coming to Fort Wayne.
That's it. If you think back in 1952 when we first opened, there were only really a handful of buildings around the country. I mean, your major markets had a facility, but this facility has had a great reputation as being an all-star performer. And by modernizing, doing the things that we've done over the years, we've kept this complex up as a state-of-the-art facility. And that's really the key. If we talk about NCAA hockey, what made us special? Well, as part of the Scoreboard renovation, we've put in goal score cameras so that the officials, if there's a goal that they want to check, they can just go into the officials' room and call up the replay on the goal cameras to see, was that really a goal scored? And it's just little things like that, that it's not something that that the client has to go and bring in contract service to have it here at the Coliseum. It's part of our standard package. It's always here.
And you touched on this. When people hear about the events coming in, they say, well, yes, the Coliseum is benefiting quite well, but it really does trickle down into other economic benefits within our community.
Absolutely. We track the economic impact of every event in the building, and we know historically, day in or year in and year out, our economic impact is in a low of in the 90s to a high of $100+ million a year. So that's a significant impact to our community. You just look at it another way. What happens if you lost $100 million of job benefit? And that would, especially the way the economy is right now, that would be a hardship for the community. Our hospitality industry locally is a major entity. The dollars, as tracked by the CVB, I believe the overall impact is in excess of $300 million. So the Coliseum is part of a larger community effort to bring in visitors, but overall, it's jobs.
Well, I can't wait to see what you've got coming in the future down the road with this now as an addition. So quite an exciting time ahead for the Coliseum, I'm sure. Randy, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for showing us around. Thanks for giving us a look at the new board. Can't wait to see it in action at an event here at Memorial Coliseum.